Hello and welcome to the Social Media Happy Hour. I'm Chris with the Cloud Campaign team.
And I'm Maya. I'm also with the Cloud Campaign team.
The time that we're recording this, it's spring, and it gives us a good opportunity to jump into our social media accounts and talk about spring cleaning, specifically your social media accounts.
It's always good to go in, give a fresh look at things, and see what you could be doing better or what hasn't been working. So it's always a nice time when it comes to the spring cleaning mindset to do it with your accounts as well.
Yeah, and so Maya, you've gone in through our previous social media audit template. You've done some cleaning up, we've done some reformatting, added some new features to kind of get it up to date with the current social media landscape. So we're just going to pop into our social media audit template, show you how to use it, provide some general best practices. You can head over to cloudcampaign.com/agency-resources to download the template there.
Right. So obviously, when you're doing audits, there's kind of two different ways you can look at it. If you're taking on a new client and you want to audit what they already have been doing, what hasn't been working, what has been working, so you can kind of get the lay of their account before you go in and start taking it over, revamping it, and elevating it. So that's like one kind of audit that you can do, like that onboarding kind of audit. Then there's ones that are also more about your current clients. So auditing an account that you currently run, just seeing what's going on with it and how it can change. You're definitely going to know much more about that account and how it works if you've already been running it, but it's still good to go in and do these official kind of audits at least once a year to get a new lay of the land.
So you're pretty in touch with social media. It seems like jumping in and just trying a bunch of things and kind of going all willy-nilly with your social media accounts doesn't really give you the best results in terms of your effort versus outputs. So going through those audits also gives you the chance to kind of organize your strategy, and that flows through the reporting and understanding how effective your overall efforts are. Or if you're coming in with a new client, establishing that baseline and then being able to show the improvements from those changes.
They help you with a lot of things, when it comes to identifying strengths, weaknesses, opportunities for improvement. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can really glean strategically from these accounts. It also just helps you get your head wrapped on right to see what you need to be doing with an account.
So, Maya, when you're doing a social media audit, can you tell us about some of the things that guide your strategic insight? Like, what do you get from doing an audit that can help you in your optimization efforts?
Yeah, for sure. There's lots of things that can come out of doing a social media audit. So one of the main things is it's kind of discovery to kind of, understand like the budget and available resources that are currently going into the social media strategy. It also helps you determine if a customer, needs a more hands-on approach or, if they've kind of been doing self-serve. It can help you determine if the customer can support social paid ads, if they're already doing paid ads, kind of looking at those. A lot of budget can go into the paid ads, so it's really important to have a good understanding of how they're doing, how they're performing, what is working, so that you make sure you're allocating your funds for that efficiently. And then the last thing is that it helps set expectations on, what is possible based on the available resources that account has.
So it sounds like you're gathering a lot of vital information that will help you build a roadmap to get to success. Once you know what success is, you've established, what that looks like and the expectations there.
Right, exactly. And that also kind of helps with, working with clients, like structuring your packages to kind of see what they may need help with, especially if you're doing one with a new client you're getting on. Like you can see, oh, their, accounts aren't really optimized, their bios aren't really looking very good. Maybe you add that surface on like bio optimization, SEO, keyword searching for them. There's definitely a lot of upsell opportunities. Even the social media audit itself is a upsell opportunity. If you have a current client and you're kind of thinking things aren't going really well, but they haven't asked you to do much strategic work for them, this could be an upsell opportunity. Be like, hey, just let me do a social media audit. It's this much. This will allow us to have more insights and better understanding and a better roadmap to success for our account strategy. So lots of upsell opportunity by just the audit itself, but also what you can glean from doing the audit.
Nice. So as you're kind of probing around, you can find opportunities to add value and then potentially generate even more revenue for your business or your agency by capitalizing on those opportunities to really help with their marketing and social media.
Yeah, definitely something you want to have your clients have you do, like see what's working, what's not, so that you know what they need to do.
And I also like audits too, because like if you're taking on new clients and typically when you do take on a new client, you do an audit just to get a gauge of, where they're at currently. And sometimes in that process, it can help you vet a client that might not fit your values or align with what you need as a business. So I think that can be helpful, just knowing when to say no sometimes.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it also helps you understand that, especially with your communication line as well. If you've done the initial audit with a new customer that wants to come on and you're talking to them again with that bio example. Oh, hey, your guys' bio isn't very optimized. Like, I think that this is something that's very valuable to get the account on the right track. And if they're not open to accepting that, feedback or that strategy suggestion, then yeah, that's kind of helping you very early on understand you're not on the same page and they may not be valuing the work that you want to do for them. So helps you kind of figure out, your client's mindset more, what they're willing to have you help with, and how you build that communication line with them.
Yeah. And speaking of building communication lines, as you go through that audit and you communicate the results and show what improvements that you can make, together, I think that also helps build a lot of trust and loyalty. And then, when you're able to deliver on the results of the audit, it really builds that trust and helps improve your retention over time. As you can say, like, this is where we were and now we're here. Hooray.
That's true. That's another really good point, is that when you're doing it from the beginning, you have all those numbers and the information about where you started. So it does help you prove that ROI. Look, we started here. Now we're here after the 3 month contract that we've had. I think we could be here in another 3 months. So it does kind of help you build up those numbers to prove the return on investment with that working with you has.
So when you're looking at doing audits, what's the cadence for these? How often would you recommend, going about doing an audit?
Right. So obviously we've been talking about when you're taking on a new client, that's prime time to get in there and understand their account. So definitely when you're taking on a client, doing them. But what about, current clients that you have? You probably already did start with that. What now when you do it again? And I think that is up to you, like up to the agency owner, up to the social media marketer, how often they think that needs to happen. And I think it also should be in line with the goals of that account. Of that client of yours. So if they're wanting to increase reach and you're not really sure that's goal is being accomplished, do an audit and see, where do we start? Where are we now? Are we improving reach? And maybe that'll help you pull together why you may be doing it or why you may not. Audits don't have to be full, total, all-encompassing. Sometimes you can break down the audits and do smaller things, like just a reach audit or just an engagement audit. So they don't always have to be so encompassing. So that is kind of one way to look at it. You can also look at it as just like it's a yearly spring cleaning event that you do. Oh, around this time of the year, I do this for all my clients. Or it's like, hey, I push this upsell to all my clients if they're wanting to go over this. I can do this for an extra price. If you're like really on it, you may be even doing them monthly or quarterly, so that you're pulling in that information a lot. But audits can take time depending on how all-encompassing you want them to be. So be cautious of setting that standard for clients if you're going to do it monthly, but then you start to build clients and then that could be a lot. So make sure you're thinking about, your mental health as well and the time and energy that you want to put into these. But it definitely is up to you, and it's up to the cadence that you think would be beneficial, time versus output there for you. So make sure to keep that stuff in mind.
Yeah, and I really like what you said about doing different types of audits. Maybe you have your initial onboarding audit for a new client. You might have your annual upkeep audit for an existing client. And then I think, and also that potential for upsell, periodic or smaller bite-sized audits in between that you can offer. I think you can build the workflow in a way that makes it a little more of a check-in, and using a powerful automation tool like Cloud Campaign can help you pull and assimilate that data quickly in one spot, so you can make those maybe monthly or quarterly check-ins a little less strenuous.
Yeah, that is definitely a really good point. It does, if you're able to get an understanding of the data, you can pull it together and know what it's meaning easier and with less time taken into that.
Yeah, I think a lot of agencies refer to this as like a tune-up or a check-in, and that's something that they build into their like pricing or offerings to be able to convey value and generate more revenue for the business itself.
And when it comes to this kind of stuff, like, okay, I know there's these different kinds of audits. I know there's different timelines for this. How do you decide which one you want to do and how often? I think that does come down to the bottom line of goal setting, going back to what are your goals and what are your clients' goals and making sure those things are in line. So kind of on the idea of goal setting, we have some questions to kind of help you, start brainstorming what you want those to look like. And these can work for new clients you're doing these for or current clients, just making sure you're still in line, and it never hurts to go back over the goals that you already have in place. So those questions are: what are long-term social media goals? What are your short-term social media goals? What are you wanting to learn about the accounts, through the audit? Again, if it's like, hey, I'm trying to up my clients' reach. Okay, that's what you're going to put in here. My goal is to increase reach and my understanding of the client's current reach strategy. And then one of the last questions we have is like, what platforms are you currently using and why? Are there others you want to add? And if so, why do you want to add those? So this can also help you understand, pivoting in those big steps, taking on a new Threads account, or you're using YouTube, but are you doing shorts? If your clients aren't fully sure of those things, or you want to back up suggestions that you maybe want to give to them, these can be really good ways to go about that.
Okay, so Maya, when you're going through an audit yourself, what are some general things that you look for as you're trying to optimize or get a sense of the social media presence for a client?
Right. I mean, yeah, that question can go a lot of different ways depending on what platform specifically you're looking at. But I do have some things that I do look for over all of the accounts, just to kind of sum some things for you guys to keep your eyes on, for all of the platforms. So I think number one is that making sure the profile is optimized and ready to go. Profile, account, whatever that platform is calling it, the page people are going to find out about you, where your content is living. You want to make sure you have a good profile picture. If there's banners, a good banner photo. You want to make sure your bio is really good, ready to go. That your account name, that you have keywords linking all that information together. If you're able to add links, having links in there. So that's number one, making sure the account is just set up for success from the beginning. Off of that, you're also going to have to think about, obviously, the content you're posting, but how often you're posting it. You're going to want to go over what kind of content you're posting. If it's Instagram, are you just posting reels? Do you also post stories? So making sure you're thinking about how often and what kind of content. And that also goes to making sure you're utilizing those platform features. TikTok has stories now. Are you using those? Thinking about things in particular, using, Instagram stories, stickers, all that good platform specific things. That kind of goes with being up to date on what a platform offers, which, maybe you're going to want to be doing as well. Making sure branding is consistent. This is really easy to see just by looking at the account. Are you using similar fonts, colors? And then, at the end of the day, identifying what is working on each platform. What is the top content on that platform, so that you can understand, how to move forward with your content strategies.
We also included a spot on our audit template for you to capture that quickly, because I think it's interesting to try and reverse engineer what's worked really well and use that as a jumping off point to help build further engagement.
Right.
And I also wanted to point out too that this audit template was actually provided by one of our agency customers, Tammy. So this is something that's actually been used out in the wild for managing accounts. So hopefully it'll be something that provides value to you and your agency as you're doing your social media audits.
Right. And also when it comes to, giving a little bit of support and help, not only is this resource going to be great for you, but Cloud Campaign in general, if you're currently using it for your customers, it's a great way to pull some information that, you don't have to dig for yourself within each platform. It's, right there all ready for you to look out, and you can do the platform specific features. So we can kind of take you through how you could use Cloud Campaign for your existing customers to do these audits really quick and easy.
Yeah, so I'll pull up Cloud Campaign real quick and show you just a quick sample of some of the tools you can use to gain access to those insights. If you just click on from the dashboard on the analytics, it gives you a breakdown of overall aggregated data, which is really neat. So you can use this per workspace, which is a brand in Cloud Campaign. This is silo data, so it's each account's going to be separate, but it gives you a very quick, at a glance view of performance.
Cloud Campaign also, I think, is really unique in the fact that it offers top posts, top hashtags, and top categories. This is a really powerful feature that if you're not already using, you definitely should start using.
Yeah, so looking at this, if you go into those top posts, it pulls out what those posts are, and it can break down some of those insights for you to give you ideas of like what type of content it is that's performing well, so you can do more of that, so you can create more experiments. So for example, image posts with a short caption tends to do really well for us. So Maya will take that information and continue doing this for our social media. Which she's been doing a great job on. Just look at these numbers. Look at those green arrows pointing up. Woohoo! But it also gives you, those demographic data too, to know where in the world your customers are based, as well as hashtag performance and insights and categories, which are used to not only organize your content library, but also create drip and automation campaigns. And so one way we really like to encourage the use of category tags is to build campaigns or experiments around them that you can use to test theories, test strategies, and then be able to easily measure and track the performance of those.
Right. And I also want to point out that all of these pages that we've gone to, you can make platform specific, or you can keep it general to all of the accounts. So you just go up to the top and click down, and you can make it for just that platform. So you can make sure that data is really accurate for each specific platform, or you can do, more all encompassing. It's really flexible in how you want to go about it.
And so that's an easy way to do just like ad hoc performance check-ins. There's also a reporting feature. Okay, and so I'm going to pull up the report real quick. And this gives you white labeled reports that you can use to share with your clients. All of that information and data aggregated, or again, as Maya mentioned, you can toggle through and select specific accounts. So when you're doing those audits, this is the fastest way to generate all of your reports, all of your data assimilated in one spot.
So now if you've used all these tools, you've used the template, you've added in all your information, looked over whatever you've wanted to look over, what do you do now? So that's when action plan comes into effect here. You're going to want to summarize your client's current social strategy, what you've gleaned from doing the audit. Did you see any patterns of the client's current strategy? And then you can go and describe how you want to plan to take it to the next level. Set a specific goal for your clients or multiple goals. That's where you'll do this. And then you're going to detail that process. What actions do you want to take to achieve that goal or goals? And then set a time frame in which, you want to achieve this goal. And then, you can set your expectations and the next follow-up. When are you going to do this again? Or when do you think you'll need to do it again? Because this is flexible and could change. But this is the page where it allows you to bring all your thoughts together that you've seen and detail what you're going to be doing next. And this is great for your clients as well to pay attention to this page, because if they don't want to go through the whole thing, if you're going to share this with them, you can just tell them, just read this page, or just send them this page and be like, this is what I saw and this is what I'm going to do to fix it or make it better. So this page is key for you.
Yeah, and this is a really great way to take all of that information and make it actionable and set those expectations like Maya mentioned at the beginning. The other great thing about doing audits like this, especially when you're considering growing your agency and bringing in new customers, is this is a great prospecting tool. So if you set up the way your agency set up is going to be unique, but this is a great lead gen opportunity, offering a free social media audit to prospective customers, building some trust, establishing that there is work to be done, and also doing a little bit of vetting of your client while providing clear steps to take it to the next, that next level. Feel free to use this on your journey as you bring in new clients and as you add the most value to your clients and their services.
And if you like this kind of resource, we have tons of other free resources that you should check out for sure. Some of the newer ones that we just had come out that we're really excited about are a white label strategy guide. We have white labeling on Cloud Campaign. So if you're not already using it, this could definitely give you a good insight into why you maybe will want to use it. We also have content ideas for every niche. We have a 2024 social media calendar. If you're ever looking for content ideas, these things will be killer for you. And we also came out with a new resource all about hooks, audio, visual, yeah, lots of stuff that you can find on our website to up your agency for free.
Yep. So head over to cloudcampaign.com/agency-resources. That's cloudcampaign.com/agency-resources to check out some of those tools and elevate your agency game.
Right. And if anyone has any questions ever, feel free to let us know if you can't see these things, or if they're not pulling up for you, or if you have ideas for new resources for us. Just shoot us a DM and any of our Instagram pages, or email us, or you can even hit the little "Can I help you" button at the bottom of the screen, and you'll be talking to somebody from Cloud Campaign, a real person, and we'll be able to help you.
All right. I think that wraps up our episode on doing spring cleaning, but you don't need to wait until spring to do a social media audit. Maya, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. We'll
Of
catch you next
course.
time.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.